Hello and welcome to another practice. Today's practice is focused on core and balance. So building your core strength, and we will be flowing through a lot of single-legged balancing asanas or transitions. Some of the transitions will require a lot of core strength. So if anytime during the practice you fall out of it, it's okay, don't get frustrated, just try it again and be very mindful to engage your core and breathe through the repetitions and the transitions. So most of the time when we work our core muscles, we tend to hold our breath or we tend to tighten ourselves thinking that that will help us stay in balance, but that is counterintuitive. So breathe through it and be mindful of how you are engaging your muscles and be mindful of your alignment in your body. So don't focus too much on how you look in a particular asana. If you do need a block during the practice, you can have it close by, but we have one half moon transition, but other than that we would not be using a block. Make this practice your own, so you can add modifications and enjoy the practice. Just have fun. You don't have to, there is no pressure to get the whole vinyasa 100%, so it's okay, and come back to it. You will be amazed on how much improvement you have made, and be consistent with your practice. That's important. Also, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and I would love to hear some feedbacks, otherwise it feels like I'm just talking to a wall. So if you can give me some pointers, if you can comment on my video and let me know your thoughts, that would be helpful, and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, and I'll meet you on the mat. Let's start our practice in Tadasana. In the front of your mat, make sure that your feet are hip distance apart and your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. Pray your hands. Take a deep in breath. Next out breath, sweep your arms all the way up. Bring your gaze up towards your palms. Cactus your arms. Take a mini standing back bend. Extend your arms in your back bend and fold forward. Halfway lift. Open your sit bones up towards the sky. Step back into your plank. Flow through Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. We'll add some strength components into our practice. Turn your palms slightly inwards. Bring your feet slightly wider than hip distance. Lengthen the back of your neck and take 5 downward dog push-ups. 5, 4, push back up through the heel of your palm. 3 and 1. Bring your palms back to neutral. Step your feet hip distance apart. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. Bring your gaze towards the front of your mat and step or hop forward fold. Come all the way back up to Tadasana. Next in breath, add a heel lift. Sweep your arms all the way up. Cactus your arms. Whoop. Open your chest up towards the sky. Extend your arms. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Open your sit bones up towards the sky. Engage your legs. Step or hop back plank. Flow through Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Feet come wider than hip distance. Turn your palms slightly inwards. 5 push-ups. Step back neutral. Lift your heels. Bend at your knees. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Come all the way up to Tadasana. Heels lift. Sweep your arms up. Cactus your arms. Open your chest up towards the sky. Extend your arms. Fold forward. halfway lift, palm the mat, step back into plank, flow through chaturanga, upward facing dog. Step your feet wider than hip distance, turn your palms slightly inwards, take 5 push-ups, keep the back of your neck long, bring the crown of your head to in between your palms. Back to neutral. This time bring your knees to down onto the mat, come on all fours, crisscross your feet and bring your sit bones down onto the mat. Feet come on to the mat in front of you. Shift yourself slightly back, balance and float your heels off the mat coming into a boat. You can either stay here or extend your legs and crunch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your Navasana, release your legs down onto the mat, extend your legs, spread your sit bones on over the mat, arms alongside your ears, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Come back up, bring your right foot to your left inner thigh and fold in your half butterfly. Square your chest down onto the mat. Make sure that both your sit bones are down on the mat. Lift halfway, bring your left elbow on the inside of your left leg. Turn your gaze up towards the sky. Extend your right hand up towards the sky. Make sure that your sit bones are down on the mat. Either stay there or bring your right hand alongside your ears. Release your right hand behind your hip. Plant your left foot and lift up into a supported side plank. Float your left leg and next exhale, bring your left knee and left elbow to touch in front of your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Bend your left leg, catch your left foot and open your chest. Keep kicking into your left palm. Release that. Plant your left foot down onto the mat. Stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Right hand extends alongside your ears. Gaze up towards the sky. Release that. Arms come out into a T and sweep your left hand in front of you up and over. Come into a back bend. Try to bring your right palm over your right heel. You can turn your left foot slightly outwards. Come back, stacking your shoulders directly over your hips again. Bring both your palms on the inside of your left foot. Lizard lunge. You can either stay up here on your palms, squeeze your inner thighs, engage your hips, or you can bring your forearms down on the mat. Come back onto your palms, bring your back knee down, bend your leg, catch your back foot with your left hand, sink into your hips, feel the quad stretch. Release your back leg, shift your hips back and come into half splits. Shift forward, float your back knee, right palm directly underneath your right shoulder, easy twist. Squeeze your inner thighs, engage your hips. Come on to the knife edge side of your back foot, stack your left foot over your right, come into a side plank and hold. Back to plank, flow through chaturanga. upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Float your heels, bend your knee, gaze towards your palms, travel to the top of the mat, fold forward. Come all the way up to Tadasana. Next, in breath, float your heels, sweep your arms up, cactus your arms, open your chest up towards the sky, extend your arms, fold forward, halfway lift, open your sit bones up towards the sky. Plant your palms on the mat if that's accessible to you, and pull up on your kneecaps. Step or hop back, flow through Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Bring both your knees down, cross your feet, bring your sit bones down, Navasana. 5 crunches, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs down on the mat, arms alongside your ears. Hinge from your hips, fold forward. Halfway lift, come all the way up. Bring your left foot to your right inner thigh and fold in your half butterfly. Halfway lift, bring your right elbow on the inside of your right leg. Extend your left hand up towards the sky. Sit bones are down on the mat. Gaze up towards the sky. Either stay here or extend your top hand alongside your ears. Release your left palm behind your hip. Plant your right foot. Lift up into a supported side plank. Float your right leg. Take 5 crunches. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bend your top leg, catch your foot, kick into your hand, open your chest up towards the sky. Release, stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Your right palm rests on your right thigh, extend your left hand up towards the sky, gaze up. Release that, sweep your arms are in front of you, up and over, take a back bend. You can turn your right foot out a little bit, come back, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Bring both your palms on the inside of your right foot, lizard lunge. Either stay here or bring your forearms down on the mat. Come back up onto your palms, bring your back knee down, bend your leg, grab hold of your back foot, sink your hips down onto the mat. Open your right shoulder, release and shift back into half splits. Shift forward, left palm on the inside of your right foot, easy twist. Stack your feet on top of each other. Come into a side plank hold. Come to a full plank, flow through Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Float your heels, travel to the front of the mat, halfway lift and fold. Come all the way back up to Tadasana. Sweep your arms, float your heels, cactus your arms, open your chest towards the sky, extend your hands, fold forward. halfway lift, open your sit bones up towards the sky, plant your palms, float back plank through chaturanga, upward facing dog, lift your hips, downward facing dog, turn your palms slightly inwards, take 5 push-ups in your downward dog. Come back to neutral, float your right leg, 3-legged dog, point your right foot, right knee to chest, bring your right palm directly underneath your shoulder, turn, open up into a side plank, bring your right foot down, fall in triangle. Both palms onto the mat, bring your right shin parallel to the short edge of the mat, come into a pigeon. You can either have your palms on the mat or you can float your palms alongside your torso for an active pigeon. Engage your core, bend your back leg, work your back foot to your elbow crease, and if it's accessible, you can bind your palms behind your head. Release your bind, sweep your back leg around, plant your left foot down, left palm a few inches in front of your left foot, float your right leg up. You're transitioning into a standing splits. Bend your back leg, bring your right knee to chest, come all the way up to one-legged Tadasana. Engage your hips, open your arms out in a T, bring your right foot to the inside of your left leg. You can have your hands alongside your ears or out in a T. Come into a tree pose, squeeze and keep your left inner thigh engaged. Release your hands, grab hold of your right big toe with your 2-piece fingers, right knee on the outside of your right hip. Stay here or extend your right leg. Release your balance, catch your right foot behind you and transition into dancers. Release your dancers into one-legged Tadasana, right knee in front of you. Float your right leg back, transition warrior 3. Plant your right foot behind you, open up warrior 2. Shift your hips towards your back heel, sit into Skandasana. Plant your left foot, shift your hips to the front, come into a low lunge. Bring your back knee down, bring your palms behind your head and sink forward. Try to bring your right elbow to the mat. If it doesn't come all the way down like mine, just twist in your upper torso. Shift back, keep your palms behind your head into half splits. Shift forward, hip sinks down and take your twisted variation in your torso. Try to bring your elbow to the mat. Lift back up, shift back, come into half splits. Shift forward one more time. Twist in your torso, try to bring your right elbow down, touch and shift back into half splits. Release, low lunge, step back into plank, flow through chaturanga. Upward dog, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Turn your palms inwards, take 5 push-ups. Come back to neutral, float your left leg, 3-legged dog. Left knee to elbow, left palm underneath your left shoulder, open up side plank, bring your left foot down, fallen triangle, chest opens up towards the sky. Palms onto the mat, left shin parallel to the short edge, pigeon. Come into pigeon. You can make it into an active hold. Bring your palms alongside your torso. Bend your back leg. Work your back foot to your right elbow crease this time. And bind your palms behind your head if that's accessible. Release your bind. Sweep your right leg around, plant your right foot, right hand comes a few inches in front of your right foot, float your back leg, half splits, no, standing splits. Whew. Bring your left knee to your chest. Come up into one-legged Tadasana. Open your left knee on the outside of your left hip. Bring your left foot to the inside of your right leg. Stack your hips. Grow tall in your torso. Tree and hold. Release your tree. Grab hold of your left big toe with your 2-piece fingers and stay here or extend your left leg. Release that. Catch your left foot behind you and transition into dancers. Ooh, my leg. Come into one-legged Tadasana, left knee into chest, float your left leg back, warrior 3. Plant your left foot down, open up warrior 2, shift your hips towards your back heel, Skandasana. Plant your right foot, shift forward, come into low lunge. Back knee down, arms come behind your head. Sink your hips down. Take a twist in your torso. Try to work your left elbow to the mat. Lift up, shift back into half splits. Release your half splits, sink your hips down, take a twist, work your left elbow down, lift up, shift back to half splits. Lift up, one more time, sink, twist, touch, lift, shift back, half splits, release into low lunge. Step back plank, flow through chaturanga, upward dog, downward facing dog. Turn your palms slightly inwards and take 5 push-ups. 5, 4, Back to neutral. Float your right leg. Squeeze your inner thighs. Right knee to chest. Plant your right foot in between your palms. High crescent lunge. Squeeze your inner thighs. Square your hips to the front of the mat. Bend your back knee and cactus your arms. 90-90. Lift back high crescent. Shift forward. Shift your torso forward. Stack your shoulders over your hips. 90-90 lunge. Back to crescent. Lean your torso forward. Come back up. The whole time the weight is on your left heel. One more time. 90-90 lunge. Lift. Lean forward. Come back. Bring your palms to your chest. Sit in your crescent. Shift forward and come into warrior 3. Oh, I know your legs are tired. Mine are too. Bring your left knee to chest. Ha ha ha. One-legged Tadasana. Grab hold on the knife edge side of your left foot. Standing twist. Release your twist. Shift back through warrior 3. Bring your left palm down. Take a twist towards your standing leg into a revolved half moon. Keep kicking your floating leg up. Squeeze your inner thighs. Back foot comes down on the mat. Come into an exalted warrior. Release that and open up warrior 2. Bring your right palm on the inside of your right leg. Transition side angle. Extend your right leg. Triangle. Back to warrior 2. Square your hips to the front of the mat. Come back high crescent. Palms down onto the mat, low lunge. Back knee down. And this time stack your shoulders over your hips. Open your arms out in a T. Take a twist towards your bent leg. Front leg, sorry. Both your legs are bent. Shift your hips down. As you shift your hips down, bring your right palm on the outside of your left thigh. Release your hands back, coming through a T, and this time shift your hips back. Grab hold of your front foot with your left hand and gaze up towards the sky if you can. Release back into a T. Shift your hips forward. Back through a T. Keep your twist. Catch your flexed front foot and bring your gaze up towards the sky. One more time. This requires a lot of core strength and balance. Focus. Breathe through it. Keep your twist and extend. Bring your gaze up towards the sky. Release. Woo. Back through low lunge. Tuck your back foot. Step back plank. Flow through Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Last sequence on one left side. Come on, you can do it. Turn your palms inwards. Take 5 push-ups. 5. Your reward is the beautiful definition in your body when you're consistently practicing, and all the mobility in your joints. Float your left leg, 3-legged dog. Left knee to chest. Plant your left foot in between your palms. High crescent lunge. Ooh, I don't know if you can see in the video, but man, I'm pouring down. Ooh. High crescent lunge, arms alongside your ears. Cactus your arms, tap your back knee down, lift up, shift forward, back to crescent, 90-90, lift up, lean forward, back to crescent, 90-90, lift up, lean forward, come back, palms to your chest, transition into warrior 3. Whew, my legs. Bring your right knee into your chest, stack your hips, grab hold of the knife edge side of your right foot, take a standing twist. Release your standing twist, flow back through warrior 3. Bring your right palm down, squeeze your inner thighs and open your chest towards the left side. Plant your back foot, exalted warrior. Try to bring your gaze up towards the sky. Release that into a warrior 2. Sink your hips. Bring your left palm on the inside of your left leg, side angle. Extend your left leg, triangle. Back to warrior 2. Frame your front foot, low lunge. Back knee comes down onto the mat. Stack your shoulders over your hips, arms out in a T. Sink your hips down, take a twist, left palm on the outside of your right thigh. Release your arms in a twist into a T, stay in your twist. Shift back, extend your left leg. Try to grab hold of your flexed left foot with your right hand. Gaze up towards the sky. Whew. You can also bring it to the inside of your left foot. It's hard to talk and do this transition. Shift forward. Keep the twist. Shift back. Gaze up towards the sky. Ooh. One more time. Ooh, God. It's okay. Release back to low lunge. Step back to plank. Bring your knees down. Sit bones come down onto the mat. Oh my God. Stack your right shin over your left, fire log. Open your hip. This should feel really good, especially if you sit down a lot during a day. You can even walk your hands and fold over your fire log. Release. Switch sides. Walk your hands. It's funny how I didn't write this when I wrote the sequence. When I sat down just now, this is what my body wanted. A hip opener. Release. Extend both your legs. Come all the way down onto the mat. And end your practice. Add an inversion, back bend, do whatever floats your boat for now. I'm going to end my practice with my favorite back bend. Or you can just take a bridge. If you are coming with me, make sure that your weight is on your heel. Squeeze your glutes, engage your core, lift your hips up and bring your palms next to your ears. Exhale, push the mat down and lift up into your back bend. Release and arms out in a T. Bring your knees stacked over your hips and ankles in line with your knees. Drop your knees on the outside of your left hip. Supine twist. Switch sides. Back to neutral. Hug your knees. Release into Shavasana. Oh my God, I hope you felt the fire in your core, in your sides. Your quads must be on fire too. My legs are quivering. I hope you enjoyed the practice. I'll see you on the mat soon. Have a nice time.